I just wish I knew my first year these things, you know. Let's just say I finished school depressed. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? What's up YouTube Nation, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a video basically explaining the cons of studying architecture. If you do know, I'm an architect. I feel like I say this a lot, so I feel like you guys know already. But basically today I'll be talking about the cons, negatives, why I shouldn't study architecture, call it whatever you may. But just keep in mind that negatives are quite subjective. Whatever is negative to person A may not necessarily be negative to person B. So keep that in mind too. I'm an architect, so 3, these are things, yes, there are cons and negatives, but there are things that as time goes on you build like a system where you can get through them, which makes it like not something that bothers you anymore. Unfortunately, it takes time for you to build experience, to build, you know, knowledge of like how to deal with things and your situations or whatever. But if you're studying architecture for the very first time, this is your first year, it's probably whooping your behind. Yup, architecture will do that to you. It will, honey. It will. Sit up, you sit up, you sit up, you sit up, My name is Hawa. If you're new here, please be sure to subscribe, and if you're not, thank you for always coming back. When you do subscribe, please make sure you hit the bell right next to subscribe, because it will let you know whenever I do upload a new video. And I'm going to do a couple of these architecture videos. It's kind of a series that I'm starting out now, but yeah, so stay tuned and give this video a thumbs up. And now let's get into the cons. I have my list right here, and yeah, for some reason I've not been able to put this in like shorter like phrases, but you're going to be too busy. You're likely going to lose friends. Point is, it's time consuming, and with that comes you're probably going to lose friends. Friends are not really going, especially if you're someone who has like a social life and does like the most and stuff like that, loves to go out, loves to just spend time with people, loves to just hang out and do nothing. Yeah, say bye to that, okay? Just like, it's not going to be gone completely, but you're hardly going to have time for things like that. Friends may not always understand when you keep canceling on them, or you can't make it to events, you can't do this, you can't do the things that you used to do before. You probably won't be able to do. I promise you, probably be looking at your phone and your messages will be coming in, and you're just like, I'm gonna get to you, I'm gonna get to you in 2 seconds, I'm gonna get to you, but you will just not have the time to literally pick up and 2 seconds to just type things or whatever, because there's no time. Some will understand. There's some that will understand. Some will get a little angry, and you may end up losing some, to be very honest. And those that will stick around, you end up being like really tight anyways, and they may even help you with your project. They may whatever. The point is, you're going to lose friends, okay? That may happen. You're going to cancel so many events and plans, and your life will just not be the same socially, because architecture is all consuming. It's a lifestyle. I almost see it as a religion. I know that's extreme comparing it to a religion, but a religion is something that encompasses your whole nature. It becomes you become that thing. That's literally what a religion is, and that's what architecture is going to do to you. You're literally going into this whole lifestyle, and at all times you're thinking about it, you're dreaming about it. You see something and you're like, you're making sketches on the road, you're like, you know, it just becomes your life. So it is time consuming. You have a lot of assignments from school. If you're in class, you're doing work. Like, sometimes you probably hear your peers from other departments saying things like, I was chatting in class, or sleeping, or stuff like that. You're just like, excuse me, I can't relate. Because if you're not working, like, you're working in class, you're working at home, you're working everywhere. That's just how it is. So it's very time consuming. There's so many things to do. There's so many processes in between things you have to do, because most likely, not most likely, this is what happens whenever you're doing a design course, especially, you're doing a design from the beginning to the end. So you're basically you're the one doing every step in that project, whereas in real life it's not even the case, but in school it is. You're doing the preliminary research, you're going to do the concept, you're going to do the design, you're going to do the breakdown, then you draw them and stuff like that, and render and like present, and basically you're in charge of all of the steps. So, and models, how could I possibly forget that? So, you know, things like that. It is time consuming. You may or may not lose your friends, but you will definitely, your social life will die. I will tell you that much. You are not going to sleep that often. Yeah. Like I said, these are things you can get the hang of, but it is still a con. Sleep. Who needs sleep anyway? Sleep is a joke. Nobody sleeps in architecture school. I mean, you will, but it will probably be cut down to like 3 hours a day. I don't know if that's enough. What's the recommended time for sleep again? Forget about it, because it's not happening. It just isn't. Because like I said, it's time consuming. You have a lot to do, and you just feel like you're playing catch up with the hours of the day. Like, how can anyone do this? You get it though. You're going to get group work. Again, this can be a pro or con, but group works, basically you're always, because it's an interactive course, you're always with people. You're most likely going to get group works either as classwork, homework, or just like a term project where you guys are going to do in a group. If you're fortunate enough to be with people who are not completely serious, people who don't know what's happening in class, just the normal group work problems that you could possibly have in group projects. In architecture is a lot worse, because like the work you have to do is a lot. It's not one of those things where you're just like, okay fine, I'll pull your weight, I'll just do it if you want to be the one who's serious. You can't exactly do that with architecture because it's a lot. So group works could be positive or negative, like meeting with them, also working with them, because it's creative based. You guys could possibly butt heads. It could be a good growth and growing process. Moving on, lots of presentations. Oh my god, if you have stage fright or social anxiety or whatever it may be, just talking to people, like honey, get ready, boo, get ready. You're going to do enough of these. Like, this is something that hit me in the face my first year. I did not see it coming. And it just kept like expanding and growing, and there was just more of it, and I was just like like literally I feel like in architecture school, every opportunity they get, they make you explain things. Can you get up and tell us, explain this? Or like, everything can be a reason for them to get you to stand in front of the class and explain. But presentations, yeah, you're going to do a lot of them. You're going to maybe the random spontaneous presentation that I mentioned, where they just randomly pick you and make you explain your thoughts and stuff like that, and you have to like, and it can be nerve-wracking because you're basically like exposing like your brain. I don't know, that's kind of how I imagine it. Like, you're giving it your thoughts, and you're basically letting people in a way. It's kind of a vulnerability. I don't know, maybe I'm just a little extra and stuff like that. I'm just like, because you're going to explain to people like why you thought that, how you thought that, how that made sense in your head and stuff like that. And the teacher can be like, wrong. So imagine going through all that and they're like, yeah, no. I'm just kidding. Especially, okay, if you're explaining like your things and your thoughts, I don't think that will happen. But like projects, you're going to have, for me in architecture school, we had 3 main juries. Other than that, we could also have just like presentation in classes every week. However, like your teacher, your lecturer, your instructor may have a different approach in teaching you. It could be that every week you're going to present something in front of the class, and they'll give you feedback, critiques basically, and you go and you change it, and you or fix it, or whatever, you just improve. Or you could just do desk critiques. That happens too. It just depends on the approach of the teacher. But regardless, you're still going to, whether you guys have desk critiques or you have like the proper presentation where you put things up on the wall and you explain your stuff, whatever it is, you're going to do a proper presentation nothing less than 3 times a semester. Nothing less. This is just, I'm just saying, what am I saying, 3 let me just say, maybe nothing less than 5, depending on your school. I think in a semester the least presentations I've probably done was like 15. So put that into perspective. So if you're shy or have okay, you know what, I'll just do an advice video later on. Now we're just focusing on the cons. So that happens a lot, and sometimes it could be out of school. Even if it's in school, they could invite the government, depending on the kind of project. You could have like whatever government figure there, you can have other people there, you can have other students there. If you're in a higher class, they can have like year 1 students there, just so they can see and learn and like have an idea of what senior students are doing in terms of architecture, so they can learn and blah blah blah. So you could literally be presenting in front of thousands of people. I've done that. I did not die. I just want to say that. Okay, drugs, alcohol. I just feel like I don't take drugs, I don't take alcohol. I've never even tried it, but I'm just saying this is just based on people that have been around. Sometimes you get, because architecture can take a toll on you, and sometimes their out could be drugs or alcohol, but I guess that's just life in general. Things can take a toll on you and then you face drugs. Don't do that. Find better healthy solutions than doing that. But that is a con, because I know people who have done that and some did not even end up finishing architecture school. I'm just saying, like, this is from what I know from the people around me. I have never done drugs, I'm just saying, but I have been in several, which is the next point I'm going to make. Mental health. I was depressed. Okay, you can have anxiety, you can have just like your mental health state may not necessarily be in the best shape, and this is because of the way architecture is just in general. To an extent, I see architecture as self-thought, to an extent, because when your teachers are going to tell you what to do, they're not exactly going to tell you what to do. They're not going to be like, yeah, make that bread. No, they're just going to tell you a bunch of things that may or may not make sense to you, and it's up to you to figure out a way to improve your design and improve your journey. They're there to guide you. Yo, I'm such a mess, but like, I'm just saying, like, this is the reality. So a lot of times you may feel like maybe I'm just dumb, or maybe I'm just not cut out for this, or maybe I need to just leave school already, or maybe like this is just a lot, or I'm not getting anything right. Things like that would, like, you would possibly be in that state of mind. I just want you to know it's okay. It's okay. We all go through it. We all go through it. And that happens a lot, actually. Anxiety that could be developed based on lots of presentations. When you're doing these presentations, keep in mind you're not just presenting and out the door. No, you're presenting while, like, you have a board of jury members just looking at you like. And it depends on the people. Some people just have naturally mean faces, and you just feel like you're not making sense at all, and you're talking but they're just like, you know. So it depends. It all depends. It really, but this is likely to happen. I'm just saying, I'm just being real. Not everybody is the same. You may have those really nice jury members, and you may have like really harsh, very like criticizing jury members, but at the end of the day, even if they're nice or not, they still have to criticize your work, because that's the only way you're going to progress. So imagine someone with stage fright, with a little bit of anxiety, standing there trying to being all vulnerable, explaining all of your work, and then you get hit with all of these like, oh, why did you do that? What is that? What's the purpose of that? Can you explain this for me? And blah 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 and stuff like that. And I kid you not, you did your project, you did everything from scratch, but there are sometimes they ask you questions and you're like, and it's not because you don't know the answer, you just don't know. But if you should say that, which by the way you just should, because whatever it is, they're still going to give you critics. They're just trying to push you to be the best or whatever. It is still a con, I'm not going to lie. So it kind of puts you in that mental state, so it can give you anxiety on that, and you can just get depressed based off of that. Like, damn, what's the purpose, what's the point, and stuff like that. Sometimes things like that happen, okay? And the criticism, which I feel like I touched on, they criticize everything. That's just the way they are. You can literally bring a blue, I don't know, a blue building. I'm just using colors right now for variation because I don't have the energy to think. But you can bring a blue building and they're going to ask you why you did a blue building, and you're going to go back home and change it to red, and then they will be like, are you out of your mind? Why did you change your blue building? And it's like, I feel like there's no winning here. There's just like no winning here. Yeah. So there's just going to be a lot of criticism, but the reality is these are things that eventually you learn, like things and stuff like that. Separate video coming up. I'm trying so hard not to talk about it because I just don't want to feed you guys with negativity without having like solutions. So there are solutions, there are things to like get through, but I'm going to make that a separate video because this video is going to be ridiculously long. But just so you know, you're going to be hit with criticism. Do not take it personal. Another thing again with architecture, that this is actually a point, they're quite blunt. Nobody has time. Everybody is moving, and like I said, time consuming. People do not have time to waste. So everything is just blunt, like, yeah, no, why is that higher than, why is this side of the building higher than this side of the building? Do you have explanations? Like, what's the texture, what material are you using? Have you researched on the material? Like, it's just quite blunt, like, yeah, in your face. So that could be, depending on how you can take this, I don't think there's a nice way to take that. It will affect you just a little bit, like a punch, but you know, you'll be alright, you'll be alright, okay? Yeah, another thing, there's no comfort zone, which is kind of somehow kind of linked to all of those things. They like just try to push you just a little bit. They like to put you, they need to make sure you're on the edge. They like to, I feel like it's, yeah, but I guess it's for growth purposes. They don't just do that because they hate you, but you're definitely not in your comfort zone through architecture school. There's no getting used to, because when you do this design class in maybe the first semester and you're like, oh okay, by the end of it you're like, damn, I got the hang of that. I really learned a lot. I really know how to deal this particular challenge and whatnot. You go to the next semester and it's a whole different thing. It's obviously for the better, because by the time you graduate school, then you've done every possible scenario of problem solving, and you just know like stuff like that and whatnot. But yeah, there's no comfort zone. You're always uncomfortable, you're always like, oh, you're always anxious, which that could be a reason to build up on your anxiety. You're always like, I'm not sure. Every time you're walking into class, you're always like, this could go really well or really bad. There's no comfort or like that secure feeling of like, oh, is this hardly, rarely you can have, I think I'm going on in the right direction, which is usually like what you aim for, but you don't have that, oh, 1000% I do this. Nope. Subjectivity is kind of dwelling into criticism a little, because it's a creative course. To an extent, there's like a little bit of subjectivity when if you have different teachers, different lecturers. Like person A could give you a different feedback and person B could give you like a different feedback, and you're just like, I don't know what to do. I remember this is like a very short story, but I remember doing this course and I literally had 3 lectures. Can you imagine? We just kept alternating because the class was quite big. It wasn't even really that big. They just needed us to do the most, so they gave us 3. We had like 3 lectures. So I remember the first week I showed my ideas to this person and he was like, it's a little extravagant, like out there, like blah blah blah, the ideas are kind of good and whatnot. So these are kind of the vague criticisms you get. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna go tone it down a bit. I kind of did like made a shell around it, not literally, but metaphorically speaking. I did that, and then the next week I came and I saw the next teacher and he was like, literally, these were his words: why do you have gold covered in bronze. I presented it to him and he was like, it's not sitting right with him. It doesn't seem like the best I could do, you know. And I had to then explain everything to him from the beginning, and he was like, damn, that's a like really good idea, but it's like it's gold, but I covered it up in bronze, meaning I did not do it in the best way possible, which is like the opposite of what the other guy told me. And to an extent they could have been both right. They were actually, it was just like, it's up to you basically. It's your project and you're like, this is why I say it's self-thought, because despite all the guidelines and all the critiques they're going to give you, it's up to you to figure shit out. Okay, the reality in terms of creativity, artsy things and stuff like that, a design is never complete, ever. That's just the way it is, period. Ooh. All right, my last con that I have today is, I feel like I really choked up a lot of points in one, like a lot of information in one, which is I guess good. But yeah, the last is, it costs a lot of money, boo. It costs a lot of money, and I'm not even talking about your school fees to go to the school. Nah. I'm talking about like the things that you need to buy, like the instruments you actually need to even participate in the class. Yeah, it costs a lot of money, from pens, sketchbooks, papers, modeling materials, cutters, the drawing board, the drawing papers, the brushes, all of those things to make your work look good and presentable enough, and even the softwares you need on your computer to even design the projects itself you need to buy. So everything costs a lot of money. And also, don't get me started on the kind of devices you need to even do them on your laptop. Like, you guys see me with my laptop and you're like, oh my god, you have a gaming laptop. Yes, I have a gaming laptop. Am I a gamer? No, I just need the processing unit and the hardware of the laptop itself to carry out my architectural stuff. Because get ready for it, if you have a basic regular laptop, honey, those laptops are going to crash. This is not even me being negative, this is me being real. I have, throughout my architectural school, I believe I went through 5 or 6 laptops. I'm not even like, right now currently I have 3 laptops, one of which is Lenovo, the other is HP right here, and then the other one which I'm currently using now. Eventually I was just like, boo, nobody has that money to be, just buy one good, even if it's expensive, because at the end of the day I've spent more money on like the other kind of laptops. Now if I had gotten this from the very beginning, it may have gotten me through my entire university. You know, the last thing you need is your laptop crashing when you have presentation. That will happen. I hope it doesn't, but there's a great chance of that happening. Imagine your laptop dying or like things like that just right before presentation, or something happening to your model on the day you're presenting, or like, these things could all happen, and it could all build up to your mental health and your anxiety. Let's just say I finished school depressed. Yes. So let's just wrap up this video. My battery is blinking, it's about to die right now. I hope I gave you guys enough information. After this, I'm going to record pro of studying architecture. I'm literally doing it right now, because I feel like this is the way I'll give you guys cons without pros. And then after then, I'll probably do a video on how to deal with the negative parts of architecture to like get through it, you know, because there are ways. I just wish I knew my first year these things, you know. I wish I knew these things. I really do. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, comment whatever video you guys would like me to do, and subscribe as well. Make sure you hit the bell right next to subscribe so you'll be notified whenever I do upload a video. All right then, bye.